Hello and welcome back. I'm Dr. Lori Williams. Today I'm going to be talking about my signature program, the Authentic Self Method. So, the Authentic Self Method is all about really coming back to self. It's about exactly what the title implies, the authentic self. And the authentic self, or the soul aspect of who you are, it's not something that you have to try to be. It's not something that you have to create. It's not something that you have to like figure out or try to build this version of you. This version of you is who you came here to be. The version of you that you are now, unless you've done the the inner healing and uh, patterns of belief changes and embodiment and all that kind of stuff, unless you've done all that, then I promise you the version of you that you are now is not your authentic self. You're showing up as the person that you needed to be in order to survive your childhood, essentially. In order to feel safe, in order to feel loved, in order to feel worthy, we've created these parts of ourselves. And the authentic self method helps to recognize what is authentically you versus what isn't. And then it helps you to strip away those parts of you that are not authentically you. So many people get stuck on this idea of who they are is actually like their actual identity. And it really isn't. Like I said, it's the identity of who you had to be in order to survive. But you don't live there anymore. So that's why this version of you is no longer working for you. It's no longer fitting. It's going to feel as though you're not, it's almost like a disconnect feeling. So, some signs, if your authentic self is begging to be seen and to be heard and to be validated, some signs you might notice are just like a soul tiredness, like a deep fatigue that it doesn't matter how much you sleep, you just can't shake it. The second thing would be that you ignore your intuition. Another red flag to know that your authentic self is asking for your attention and for you to uh, reconnect with it would be that when things come up, you act from a place of being triggered rather than a place of being calm. You notice panic, anxiety, depression, things like that. That's all signs of nervous system dysregulation. And nervous system dysregulation is part of the identity that you had to acquire in order to survive, not your authentic self. Your authentic self has a very calm and very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just very calm and relaxed. It's peace. Peace is the word I'm looking for. You have a peaceful feeling about you, and that is your actual natural state. So if you're not feeling that, that too is another sign that you are disconnected from your authentic self. So in working with me through my authentic self method program, I focus on the areas of you that you had to be in order to survive. And a lot of the times, like I said, because we have lived this version of us our entire lives, we don't really necessarily know where the issues are coming from in this invented self, in this invented, much needed, obviously, but it was still invented version of us. We're not sure of where this is coming from because it's just, we've always been this way. So it can be very hard for you to look at it from the perspective of how am I not showing up as my authentic self because this is who you've always been. It doesn't mean that that's actually who you are. It just means that this is all who you've always been. So through the authentic self method, we start to strip those parts away. We start to work together to really recognize what parts of you that either you're not recognizing, or maybe it's that you are validating these parts of you that are actually very toxic to yourself. Um, Maybe like you're showing up in a way that is not healthy for you or for your relationships, and you're validating that part of you and trying to hold on to it so hard, but it needs to be let go of in order for you to step into your authentic self and to be able to fully step into the life that you are living now. You don't, like I said, you don't live as the version of you that you had to be. You're not living in those traumas necessarily anymore. Therefore, it's time for you to let that version of you go. It served its purpose, and it was never meant to be who you became for the rest of your life. It's this whole entire journey of life between birth and death, in my opinion, is to come back to the authentic self. It's to come back to, it's almost like it's more than overcoming the things that you've gone through, the traumas that you've gone through. Coming back to self is literally coming back to and connecting to that soul expression of who you are. When you show up as your authentic self, there is nothing quite like, and I mean, I've been doing this work for a long time, and I've gone through these processes myself that I take you through. So I say this as someone that not only helps people to get there, but as someone that has also gone there, traveled this path myself. And being your authentic self gives you that calmness, gives you that peace. There's no depression, there's no anxiety, there's no burnout, there's no stress, there's none of that exists in the authentic self. And this is why it's so important that you come back to this and start to strip away all the parts of you. Because the truth of it is this stress, this anxiety, this depression, it's slowly killing you. And it's probably the worst slow death you would ever possibly go through. But every single day we get up and we repeat it over and over and over again. I'm telling you, there's a different way. There's a better way to live your life than by living it based on the things that you have gone through in the past and that you have had to create in order to survive this lifetime. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to know more about how to work with me, I will leave a link to a free discovery call in the comments in the description of this video. And feel free to book your your free session with me, and we can discover together how I can help you more to reconnect with this authentic version of who you are. That person is waiting for you. It's time you reach back. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here next time.